Hello everybody, this is Gregory with 100 Pounds Off for 30 plus years. I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to talk about how to deal with the post-weight loss shame you have regarding maybe the way your body looks. Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. As you guys know, I've lost over 100 pounds. I've kept it off for 34 plus years. I might be able to help you. Also subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already. Post a comment as well. Now, this was something that I went through right after I lost my weight back in the early 80s. So I have two personal playlists if you're new to this channel. And if you go to the homepage and click on playlists, you'll find them. So the first one is called Confessions of an Obese Child, where I talk about the bullying incidences that happened to me when I was morbidly overweight kid and teenager. And then after I lost the weight, then I had another playlist called Revelations of a Weight Loss Warrior. These are also two books that I wrote. And Revelations of a Weight Loss Warrior is just kind of the things that I dealt with post-weight loss. Because once you lose your weight, it's not like you're like, oh, you know, I'm normal. You still kind of see yourself as a fat person in a regular person's body. So when I had lost my weight, going through college, for example, I was so insecure about my body. And on retrospect, understandably so, because my body did look different. I had the bloopy, as I call it, the loose skin that I have near my abdomen. I have stretch marks over here. So I looked different. No doubt I looked different. And it's funny because, you know, the older you get, the less you care about the way your body looks. So why can't we have that old man view of our body when we're young? You even see it with young teenagers, how they're even uncomfortable changing in the locker room many times. And I would say when you've lost your weight, there's a certain amount of insecurity that's understandable. You're coming out of this shell of being a fat person. And now you're not as fat. Maybe you haven't reached your goal, but you're not as fat. But your body looks like it's gone through war. And what's the best mindset to have? And I can tell you the mindset that I had for a good 10, 15 years was not the best mindset to have. My mindset was that I was embarrassed. For example, I would wear a t-shirt in the pool years after I lost my weight, and I was regular weighted. You know, I'm 6'2", I was like 180 regular weighted, but I was so self-conscious about my bloopy and stretch marks that I'd wear a t-shirt. Even when I was dating women, I had zones in my body. White zone, you can touch. Gray zone, I don't feel as comfortable. Black zone, you never touch. And so I was uncomfortable. I would even shave in the dark, or I would shave with a shirt on because I didn't want to see the imperfections of my body. And I think that was just the wrong mindset to have. The proper mindset to have is this. My body looks better than it did before. And honestly, my body looks better than anyone who hasn't lost the weight. That's the proper mindset. So the cup is half full instead of half empty. Instead of comparing yourself to some Instagram thought or jock that you don't have the chiseled body, look at it as, well, where was I X amount of months ago? And my body looks better then. Will people notice that you were formerly fat? Absolutely. I remember being at the gym and I would see other guys whose bodies were like me, like saggy skin and all these things. And I'd be like, oh, he used to be overweight. You know, you can tell. So people will notice. But overall, you got to remember, people are so narcissistic that as a whole, they don't care. They just don't care. They don't care. And if you're a guy and you're like, oh, this girl might not like me because of my stretch marks or whatever, totally understand. And I would tell you that men and women think differently. Men are much more visual creatures, where like if a woman has these issues, and no offense to a woman, yeah, a guy might not be able to get an erection. But women's arousal process is so fundamentally different than men that women many times will sleep with unattractive men, but they find them attractive for other reasons, namely like money, status, all these other things, that they can overcome that. So in closing, I think with time you'll have more perspective. And like, yes, your body's not perfect, but it could be worse. And if you're really, really self-conscious about it, let's say you were 600 pounds and you lost 400 pounds and you know, it's all stretching, then by all means you can go under the knife and get that. I just never wanted to go under the knife. Even today, I've never been under the knife for anything. And that's just something I didn't want to do. But I would really, really introspect before you do go under the knife for something that maybe exercise or some other things might work. Or the other option is just embrace your new body and just love it the way it is. Guys, post in the comments, how did you deal with your post-weight loss body? Until next time, take care and God bless.